Oh, is that how it works?
Yes, that's how it works.
You're going to be bringing us in right after that?
Yeah.
I thought there might be like a second or two. I mean, again, I don't know this stuff, so you're getting used to it better than I am. That's good. Hello, everybody. Paul Gomez. This is the hardest working kid in comics, the one, the only, Dylan Moore. So we did episode 1, and we missed a few weeks. I had a lot of things going on. I hate to say they were a lot of bad things. Unfortunately, I was in the hospital for a while, and we had a loss in the family. So we've been gone. I think it's 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks ago that we did the first one?
I think.
Yeah,
Or at least around.
yeah. So I mean, that's been difficult, but we're you know we didn't have any shows or any cons or anything, so I didn't mess with anything like that. We were dealing with all those situations, and now thankfully everything's kind of leveling out. Where we've got a few cons coming up, including a big one this week and a bigger one the week after. Well, I can't say bigger. I think they're all pretty. Well, we got two this weekend.
Yes.
You got one down in Houston,
Which I still need a rifle.
and I got that one in Denton. We'll talk about that one later.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a whole bunch of interesting subjects to talk about, and like I said, I usually like to bounce them off Dylan because he doesn't exactly know what's going on, and I like getting his opinion. But we also have a very special guest with us.
Sam. I forgot how to say his last name.
Vera.
Yeah. Here he is.
Duty! Yay!
What's up?
What's happening? So, like I was talking about, we do have this great, amazing con coming up this weekend. You're going to be at the one that I'm at, which is Denton.
No. You're going to be the one that I'm at.
Exactly. You're going to be at the one I'm at.
Yes, it's the Denton Comic Art Exposition, bro.
Yeah, I always forget that because usually I'm used to saying just Comic Con kind of thing. But sometimes they have it nice and fancy, which I'm really looking forward to this one because I haven't done it.
Yeah, I am too. I got a nice prime spot. I'm table number 1.
Oh,
yeah. What table you at?
Honestly, I don't know.
Who are you with?
I'm with Madness Comics.
Madness. I'll tell you right now. Madness Comics. You're table 41. So you are
40 behind him.
41. Oh, you're on the op. You know what's funny?
What?
I'm at one end, and you're on the opposite end.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Fred's gonna be there too. Our good friend Fred Kill. He's gonna be there.
Yeah. So this is I don't know if you can see it. So there's the floor mat.
Yeah.
So you're back here, back there, and I'm in the front. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. Cool. It's gonna be fun, man. The people at Denton, they really embrace the small guy. The local creatives. I mean, you can see how they're promoting heavily. They do a great job at promoting us at the event. They did a great job at accommodating me because I wanted a bigger space. So it's just a great relationship, and they really support the small guy. And so I'm looking forward to this. We had a blast last year, and I'm back again.
And like I said, I haven't done this, and I missed it last year, and I really wanted to do it. I want to thank the people at Madness Comics because they're sponsoring me this year for this show, which is amazing. And again, like I said, our friend Fred Kill's going to be there. I know there's going to be a bunch of people that I definitely want to talk to. And
isn't Fred going to be with us also at the book signing?
Yes.
Man.
Which again, I was going to talk about that in a minute. But next week while we're at Denton, this one's going to be down close to Houston. It's Wartime. Wartime? Do you remember how to say it?
No.
And this is a one-day convention down in Wartime. It's actually for a good cause because everything that's going into the ticket prices and all the tables that are getting paid for, everything is going to the Veterans Association around that area. Nice. So that was a special thing that we kind of came upon, and I kind of double booked. I'd love to have gone to Wartime for that veterans, kind of fundraising event, but being sponsored by Madness Comics was something that I've never been sponsored, and
you're doing good things, man. You're doing big things. Holy G in the house.
Yeah. Can you bring that up in there?
The Denton? This?
Yeah, there you go. I see. I don't know how to do all this. We're still kind of getting used to all that stuff, but yeah. And then we got Collected Comics in Irving. That's going to be grand opening. That's going to be August 12th, and
Yeah.
Mr. Ben Dunn's going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Sam,
Yeah,
none other than your boy, the crazy man's gonna be there. It's gonna be hot.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to
Yeah,
be
man.
great. Matt Cole and then Fred Keel's going to be there. There's going to be one or two other people helping open this great brick and mortar LCS that's been around Fort Worth for quite a long time, but now they're going to move a little bit towards Irving, and that's going to be an event to definitely behold. So I hope if anyone's out there, they're going to be in that area, come by and see us. But of course, like I said, this week we'll be in Denton.
Yeah.
They will not.
Huh?
Not him, but
Uh,
we'll be in Denton.
Yeah, Paul's a writer because he says it's gonna be an event to be beholden. I'm like, come on. He's definitely a writer. I'm just gonna be like, yo, it's gonna be popping.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Pull
lit.
up that Denton slide real fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. Look at that.
The Towers of Power. What the? That's
Yeah.
that's Menudo reincarnated.
That's what it is.
Instead of Backstreet Boys, that's Next Street Boys.
Y'all know, I mean, Denton's going to be free for the public, so that's going to be a great thing. I'm going to be giving out live sketches to the first.
Yeah, I see that. I see you're taking a playbook from your boy.
Man, I'm
Look
telling
at
you.
that. See, Dylan knows.
Hey, you
Hey.
get what you get. You work it. You try to
That's
get out
it.
there and get to know people. Hey, make it an experience for the customers because it's great that they come out there and see you. So, like I said, I hope a lot of people are going to be out there and Denton. Go ahead and pull out that the slide for and then there's that one right there for Irving. That's going to show that list right there. Been done.
That's
David DeGrand. I'm not sure who that is. And Sam somewhere. I know who Sam is. I know who Paul is.
I'm
Matthew
sorry.
Cole, Fred Gill.
I don't know who those two are. Can you explain?
Yeah, right.
The crazy man, bro. The crazy man.
Yeah, but that's going to be fun. It's definitely going to be fun. But having talked about the conventions that are coming up, there's a few more that's coming down the pipeline, but, these are the next two. I wanted to talk about, a few main topics in going on lately. And one of the biggest ones that has been all over all my tweets and feeds and stuff is the San Diego Comic-Con. Have you seen all this stuff?
No, what's up?
So supposedly there was an artist that had AI art,
Right.
and supposedly got removed from the show.
Right.
And a lot of people were posting, this person's banner and their empty table where they had gotten removed. A few days later, and on one of the sites, I don't know if it was Bleeding Cool or
I think it's Bleeding Cool, yeah.
Yeah. So they basically posted saying, they went to talk to San Diego Comic-Con, the people who were running it, and they said, no, that's not true. We didn't throw anybody out. This person did leave, but they left, and they told us that they were a little under the weather. So,
Is that what it is?
so the funny thing is, all the artists are coming out there kind of hounding this person. And I really wanted to talk about that for one reason specifically. Whenever it comes to AI art, I don't use it. I don't want to use it. I make sure anyone I hire is not using it on any of my products. But that's my choice. I don't believe that AI art is legal. So if somebody is using it, it's their choice. Is it ethical? I don't think so. But again, it's not illegal. I know they've had talks about it in the Congress, and there's one major one that they had recently, and I watched the whole thing, and they really didn't do much except talk.
Yeah.
So for all these artists to come out and start, talking to all badgering the people who might not have used it. And I've had a friend, and I hate that it's happened, but I had a friend who removed me and told me, I don't want to talk to you because you don't, how do you say it? You don't disclaim AI art. Because I say, if you're using it, that's your choice. I choose not to. But I do believe there are a good amount of artists out there that are using it. And I don't it's like a Salem witch mentality. They're out, the artists are out there and they're trying to find somebody to kind of stick it to no matter what.
It doesn't matter what topic it is. There's always going to be that mob mentality. It's always going to be the followers, that are trying to look. If someone's willing to pay you for something that an algorithm created, do your thing, right? I'm not gonna stand in your way. This just for the artists that have a problem with that, step up your game. I'm an artist. I don't have it's. I'm not interested in it. When the craze started, I looked at it. Everything looks
yeah.
It looks
funny.
There's no life to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I love traditional art. I'm always going to be support of traditional artists.
I just started learning.
You're complaining about an artist making money off of AI art, but that's the same thing that's happening. Disney animations are generated on a computer. Same thing. They're putting in codes, to animate and build the wireframes and do all these things. It's the same thing. It's the same premise. They said it was going to make traditional hand illustrated animation obsolete. There's still companies producing hand drawn animation. There's a time where you have to evolve. Unfortunately, the new generation has embraced technology. It is what it is. I don't use it in my work. I'm a traditional artist. I don't subscribe to it. But the people that are going to have a problem with AI are really going to be the concept artists, the ones who do gaming design, big storyboards for feature films. Those are the ones who have to be a little more apprehensive, because they're the ones that they're going to replace them because it's cheaper, more efficient, right? Because you don't even need an artist. All you have to do is just type in what you want, and the computer generates it, right? So they're not really an artist. It's really a coder, right, manipulating software. That's really what it is. So I wouldn't even call them artists. They're not artists. The algorithm, the software is the artist.
Right. And the thing about it is, whenever you because like I said, I'm learning how to do art, and I chose not to go that route. I've had a lot of artist friends who told me, it's easier, just go to AI or go, copying things or this. And I really want to learn it freehand myself. That's because I choose to learn it that way. I want to be able to draw at the convention and, give a customer a drawing that I did in front of them. That was kind of my goal, and obviously to teach, because Dylan wanted to learn and he wanted me to teach him. So that was
here's what I would say for artists who don't have the time to go out and get a camera and get reference shots, right? Because people use reference shots.
Right.
AI is good for reference shots. So if you're struggling with foreshortening, you're struggling capturing an urban environment from a bird's eye view, you can use the AI to generate it to give you a view of how to position your illustration when you're drawing, because you're struggling with capturing that look. If you want to do that as a reference point, and while you're hand drawing, that's the same thing as going out and taking a photo reference, right? It's the same thing. But if you're using it and saying I'm the artist, you're not an artist. Yeah. The computer's the artist, right?
And I think if the more you use AI art, the more it learns, and the better it's going to be, a year or two from now. So I choose not to use it because I just think that it's going to be that harder to compete with it. If you're feeding into the beast, if you will. But that's my opinion.
I don't think guys like me don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
because what it's generating is the stuff that the concept artists, it's that quality of work. What I'm doing is more, cartoony, kid style art, whatever. So I don't have to worry about it. It's really the guys who make a living doing this stuff.
I just find it odd that mom mentality. Like I said, I had a friend who basically unfriended me, told me they didn't want to talk to me. They went on a live.
That's not a friend. That's not a friend.
And started saying, that I was defending it because I wanted to use it. And I'm like, you could see
who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not using it, but I mean,
but it's the same thing. It's the same premise with every movement, right? You got
Yeah.
think about the past 10 years of all the movements society have taken a part of, and then we found out the movements were scams, right?
Right.
But everybody, you need to put this icon on your social media. You need to do this. You need to do that. I stay away from all that mumbo jumbo. I had a great mom. She told me to, make my own lane. Make my own decisions. I don't follow groups. You see me. I'm a lone wolf. That's how I roll. So you go and do you, right? But don't impose your views on me. I won't impose them on you. Live your life. Go do your thing. Have fun at it. I said, but why are you worried about the next guy? Just worry about your game. Get on the court and play the game.
It does hurt. They went on this stream and they're like, you probably don't care because I removed you and this and that and started talking bad stuff. I don't like to lose friends. To me,
was that a friend?
Well, I thought we were friends for years. I defended this guy so many times, and but it happens, I guess. If they want to go their own separate ways because I have a different idealist, ism than them, they do.
I have a buddy for years, and we have a lot of different viewpoints, right? And we can have healthy debates and healthy discussions.
Right.
He's very passionate about his position, and I'm very flexible about mine. I'm always willing to learn, right? Yeah. But we'll have debates because we're learning from each other.
Right.
Why do you have that position?
Right.
Show me the errors of my ways. I'm willing to listen, right? I'll tell you where I get my data from, and let's talk. But we've never held it against each other. We've always kept it moving. A person like that who's going to follow a crowd is not really a friend. Yeah. It's not really a friend. It's just an acquaintance that you've been in contact with, because for something as trivial as that, to be emotionally uncontrollable, because of something like that, that's not a friend, in my opinion.
So there are tons of other topics that are not as dangerous as this one. Did you hear about the aliens? Not the ones in the toilet.
What are you talking about? I got one right here. His name is Duty. He's from the planet Uranus. Did you sign up for the book launch of number 6? Yeah. The landing page is on Kickstarter. Make sure you sign up for issue number 6. That's a milestone for an independent. I'm just saying. But what? Yeah, I know about aliens. So you probably don't know this about me. But since I was a kid, I've been, reading the MUFON magazines, the Mutual UFO Network. Yeah. Because my uncle was an engineer making weapons, right? And so he introduced me to that. So since I was a kid, my high school paper was on UFOs. My college thesis was on UFOs. So so all this other stuff, I'm like, it's a distraction because you don't know what to believe, because all of a sudden now there's this big. There's a lot of distractions, so you don't know who to believe anymore. I do believe that we're not the only species in the universe, but what they're putting out there, I don't know what part of it is propaganda and what part of it, is just a distraction to keep us distracted from what's really going on behind the scenes and all the laws that they're putting in place that are like.
And the funny thing is, like, nobody seems to care about it right now
because they don't know what to believe. Come on, think about it. It's like, what do you don't know what to believe? And there's so many lies and conspiracies and all these. You don't know what to believe anymore. So I think people are getting so desensitized to the nonsense. Right. I don't watch the news anymore. So that's why when you say that, I used to be glued to the news,
right,
up till the last 2 terms, and I was like, I'm done with this.
I think the pandemic really kind of got people to kind of get away from their TVs because they had so much information coming, and so much of it was true and so much of it was false that now they don't really care. But
you know what's true when there's an aggressive effort to shut you down.
Yeah.
So when they're trying to shut your voice down and things are happening and people are disappearing, there's truth that they're trying to hide. So that's where you want to follow. Follow the people that are being victimized. Right. That's where the truth lies. Because why would you care? Yeah. Why would you care? So that's for me. So I don't get caught. I just want to make comics. I just want to have fun, right? Because this is what happens when I have some sangria and you get me talking. Now they're gonna put me on the radar and I'm gonna have them listening to me on my phone. I'm like, no, back up. I'm just a comic artist. Stay away.
Get Duty.
I'm just a comic book artist. I have no influence on nothing. Just keep it moving.
But man, I mean, to me it's crazy, but. Like I said, the funniest thing is that nobody seems to care.
Nobody seems to care. No, No, people care, but people are afraid.
You think so?
Society is afraid because when you have an opinion that's a look what happens. Look what happened to you on a small scale. Look what happened to you. He's canceling you. The
Yeah.
cancel culture. Cancel this, right? So it's like get out my face. Keep that over there, right? It's like come on. Everybody has bones in the closet.
Yeah.
Why are you throwing stones if you live in a glass house? Let
Right.
people live. Let's just live. I believe that one day they will reveal themselves. I believe that there are things behind the scenes that we're not supposed to know. But what part of all of these aggressive media sightings are real? I don't know what part of it's real worth is propaganda because it's just too much too soon.
Right.
While a lot of things are being signed into law that are impacting society, but we're so distracted that we're not seeing what's happening until it's too late.
Yeah. I hope those people ain't listening. You know what we're
So
talking about? You know.
all I know is that I got shotgun on the first UFO that says, "Hey, you want to come to my planet?" I got shotgun.
Yeah.
Me and Duty. That's it.
We're with you,
That's it. I'm out. Like, pew, you can have this planet. You're crazy.
man. This is a
Earthlings.
crazy time right now.
It's a crazy time, bro. It's a crazy time. I mean, look at the road rage. Look at the violence. I mean, for the simple things, people are getting out of their cars and shooting each other for simple things. It's like, come on. It's like I don't even go to sports arenas because there's always riots and fights. It's like society's lost their cool. And I was like,
look at the movies.
yeah.
I mean, like all the movies were tanking, and then all of a sudden, your friend's favorite movie, Barbie, came out.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
It's
It's fantastic.
Like, right?
Made of plastic.
Who thought,
Huh?
that this movie was going to be the hit of the summer?
But look what
I mean-
was happening. Look what was
But I mean,
happening with
so many movies coming out.
no the was
The
it
writer's strike?
the Call of Freedom? The
Oh,
Sound
yeah,
of Freedom.
Sound of
The Sound of Freedom. Look how aggressive they went to try to shut that down.
Sound of Freedom was a movie that kind of, I don't know, that's them trying to shut it down as much as a little bit.
No,
of
they were trying to shut. So you know the backstory?
Yeah, go ahead. No.
To
You
stop
don't know.
backing up. So the backstory is all right. So a guy who worked for Homeland Security, his to fight pedophiles, right, and traffickers, but they never actually rescued the victims of the traffickers. They actually only arrested the guys until one day a circumstance made him realize that these kids are like, when he saw them, he sees his kids and they're not rescuing it. So he risked his career and everything in his life to go and rescue these kids and shut these operations, a multi-billion-dollar global operation where child trafficking is happening. And so he got with Mel Gibson and the actor Vin Diesel from the Passion of the Christ and Person of Interest and the Count of Monte Cristo. Well, Angel Eyes, if you've ever seen Angel Eyes. Anyway, so he's a fantastic actor. They got together, and Mel Gibson said, they're going to try to shut us down. They're going to come after us for this. They pitched it. Fox owned it under Disney. They buried it. They didn't want it to come out. They didn't want it released. So they got with angel investors. They bought it back.
Yeah.
And then they released it. Then what happened was theaters across the nation were having technical difficulties playing that only on that screen in the theaters. But it look what it's done. It's done over $150 million already, and they've been trying to shut it down.
Here's the thing, though, and if you look into it, it's like this went through a few different studios.
Everybody shut it down.
Yeah, but there was a few studios that were like, okay, we're going to go ahead with this. Then they said, no, we're going to stop.
Yeah, because of pressure from the investors.
There's a lot of projects that happen that way.
No, but they didn't want this one.
They go to studios and they get a step or two in, and then they stop. And
their lies were threatened. I mean, there was a lot of things that were happening. They didn't want this out there. Even now, there's a social media or a media push to try to vilify them. And it's almost like, dude, this could be your kids. We don't do anything.
I agree.
We don't do anything until it impacts us.
I agree that movies like this need to be seen. Again, whenever I wrote my first comic, there was a lot of people that told me that I shouldn't do it. And it was one of those things that I thought it was for the greater good kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand what you're saying. I I think it's a great film that they put out. I haven't seen it myself. I
I saw it.
want
I saw
to.
it on opening day. It was the whole family. We got an entire row at the theater. And the proceeds of that day went to a charity. And that day, sound qualities shut down, rewound, shut down, rewound. Only in that one theater, in that
Yeah.
one screen. Everything else in the rest of the place. And then when you looked at everywhere across the nation, the theaters were all having the same problem.
Hey, when we went to see The Flash,
Mhm.
they they shut down, rewound, shut down. But I mean, nobody mentioned it.
Yeah.
It happened. It
Yeah,
happened
but it
like
doesn't happen on for one film in over 100 theaters nationwide simultaneously.
I just don't think that they report it for the other films. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I just think
This,
that, like I
this
said,
is where
we went to
I agree
Flash.
to disagree. I just
Yeah.
think that this, but I've been following it. I have somebody in the family who's works with their organization, and all of the nonsense that they, if you look at it, mainstream media
Yeah.
didn't want to have them on their shows.
Yeah. No, and I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying?
This is
So it's
one of
like
the things.
the things that are important, we're not talking about. But what are we talking about? We're talking about
Aliens.
aliens. We're talking about Barbie.
Barbie.
We're
Yeah.
talking about men playing women's sports, all those other things instead of something that's really impacting our children.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
I
it's like
mean,
this.
these
This
are
is a
some of the.
sensitive subject, and we're not talking about. We're not giving it its day
Well, and then the funny thing about that
because it's
is,
an enterprise.
whenever it comes to major subjects like that, major subjects like mental health, major
Hmm.
subjects like children protect their children. The feeding the kids across America itself is a huge, but a lot of people kind of avoid those things. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's right. It's just one of those things that people don't emphasize. They should.
yeah,
They really, really should. They just
yeah.
don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were a child, would you want to be victimized? If not, then then do something. Whether it's creating awareness, sharing it out. Maybe you don't have the finances for it, but you can communicate it, create the awareness around it. It's little things. And
Yeah.
I just think we
No,
need. I think as a society, we need to go
I,
back to the values system, right? Remember when we were kids, God rest her soul, my mom, she made it a point that we always had dinner together. We always prayed together, right? It was a tradition. It was, and in the morning we always said, good, I love you when she went off to work and we went off to school. I love you, mom. We gave you a kiss, all those things. Now, I mean, the focus was individualism. Everybody's leaving the home. Yeah, I can do it on my own. I don't need you. I don't need my family. I don't need this. I don't need that. Right. And so that's where depression kicks in because
right.
we're
Separate.
humans require communities.
Right.
That's how we thrive in communities. But there's a push to separate the communities and break down the communities. So you can't, there's strength in numbers, and you don't want, as long as everyone's divided, then you're vulnerable. That's the reality of it. That's the art of war. You know.
That's a good point. That brings me to this next subject. And you kind of covered it on your show and your 10 minutes
Or
segment,
less.
10 minutes or less, talking about winning. I think I was on a JD Calderon show, and we were talking about how it probably wouldn't ever be done that there would be a group of indie creators that got together and started forming and I think that there will be. I think there could be. I think there will be. I think there should be. I think that some independents could help out the others in places that they're not good at, and then vice versa. But having said that, my philosophy of winning is a lot different than most. I wasn't in it for money or fame. I was in it for my kids. Because originally it happened when the pandemic hit, and I was trying not to let them just stay on their video games and stuff. I wanted them to have something extra, have something that helped build their morale. So that was my reason for starting comics. I know a lot of creators are gun ho about, hey, I'm going to make this comic, and this comic's going to be a TV show, and this comic's going to be a movie, or I'm going to make this comic and it's going to get to a publisher and they're going to make me millions of dollars. Winning is something different for everybody.
Mhm.
And like I said, mine definitely was, you know, a lot different than most. You know, I never seen any of my projects as movies or TV shows or anything beyond comics.
Right.
You know, I think I've talked to you about PTSD and how I didn't want to exploit it for monetary reasons or other things like that.
And
To
somebody
me,
else took the lane.
yeah, and to me, it's like, yeah, it was that morale boost for my kids. It was that to bring my family closer together instead of us drifting apart like we were talking about. In society today, most people kind of go towards those solo aspects.
Yeah, that's the way we're conditioned to do it. There was a big push starting in the '80s to dismantle the family.
Yeah,
And from that point on, everybody bought drank the Kool-Aid, right? And so now what happens is, what COVID taught everybody, there was that I didn't realize how much I needed my family. I needed a foundation, right? You're gonna have those that I can't believe that. You know how many divorces happened from COVID because now the husband had to be home with the wife, right? But you learned there was two things that came out of COVID, right? You either got closer to your family or you separated even further because you just didn't want to be around them, right? But to go back to your thing, yeah. So winning is a state of mind. Is what you it's whatever goals you set for yourself, right? And only you can determine what that is. But the other point that you made about the indies getting together, I know if you watched the show that I did on while there'll never be another image craze,
no,
that
I
was
didn't
that.
watch
You, that's exactly the point. Back when image became image, there was purpose.
right.
There was purpose because you had a bunch of creatives that wanted creative expression and they were being stifled by the machine. Marvel wanted them to draw the Marvel way and they wanted to draw their way. And they showed that they can be know, drawing their way. Tom McFarlane, when he created the Spider's Web and he contorted Spidey's body, millions of copies being sold, but they were still trying to shut him down, right? All these artists that were just like, they had these unique styles that were non-traditional, Marvel traditional style of art. The Jim Lees, the Mark Silvestris, the Rob Liefeld, they're like, whoa, they all look unique. They all had their signature look to them. So they had purpose. They wanted to get out of the confines of the big machine and go and show that they can do it on their own. So they banded together, and then that's why there's no purpose today.
You don't think there's purpose?
Everybody wants to be a general today. The reason why it worked is
I want to
because
be a follower.
the reason why it worked is because everyone knew that there was one general, and that was Todd McFarlane. Everyone knew there was the big picture guy. He was the big picture guy. He was the guy who was going to muscle the machine, and he was going to make the connections, and he was going to negotiate the contracts, and they were following. Now, they all had their individual brands, but they followed his lead. It was him that they believed in. Jim Lee said it. If it wasn't for Todd, I wouldn't have done it. Right? They all said it, right? So they played their position. Today, everybody wants to be general.
I don't think everybody does.
Yes, they do.
I mean,
That's why.
don't get me wrong.
I can tell you
believe
about
the majority.
I can tell you with both hands and all my toes how many groups have formed together, and within a year they've all disbanded because they start off and it sounds great in theory, but there's no purpose. There's no fight. You need a villain. The Image Comics, they had a villain. Marvel and DC were the villains. The Machine was the villain.
The villain is
all great stories have a villain. They have a purpose. Today, everybody, because of Kickstarter and crowdfunding, I don't need you. That's the mentality. If you take those away, if you strip crowdfunding away, you might have an argument. But as long as an individual, I don't need anybody. I can just go and hire an artist and say, here, get this done and whatever, and then use Kickstarter. I'm good. But you're not going to see collectives anymore. You might see drink and draw, where groups go to a bar and they draw together, but they're not going to go and build an empire together. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. I'm telling you, if there's a foundation.
That's because you're a newbie, you haven't experienced it. Oh,
you might be right. Maybe I'm the one that gets it put together.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the one that has that insight. Maybe I'm the one that can lay out the blueprints for a leader to get that done.
And I'll watch on the sidelines having my sangria.
I'll
be with Dylan. We'll have some popcorn and sangria. And we're like, look.
all I'm saying is, imagine if your book is at 5 different cons in one weekend. If you can have that happen,
I can have it right now. No, so no, that I don't need to be part of a community. You know how many people have reached out and say, "Yo, we'll put your stuff on my table." I just won't do it, and that's me, the trust factor, right?
Well, I understand.
So that's me there. But no, that's always been an option. But for me, it's not a viable option for me. I'd rather be the decider of my own fate. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather control my own destiny at my own pace, under my own parameters that make me feel comfortable. I've been part of these. I've been in groups and I've seen the chaos within the groups, the dynamic, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, right? So I'm like, I'm out, Pew, right? Always have an exit strategy. I'm like, I'm out. So, and even when I first started, back when I had Crazy Comics, right? I worked with 2 different groups of guys, right? Each time they start off playing their position, writer, artist, editor, right? Then I want to be the boss. I want to be the boss. I want to be the. But nobody had the vision. Nobody had the network. Nobody had the plan. But they wanted to be the boss, right? And so it didn't work, right? So it was like for me when if you know the story of Crazy Comics, I got us on television, on radio, in newspapers. We had free tables at conventions. We were everywhere, right? But what happened was some people got complacent. They didn't show up to things. Some people wanted to be the boss, all these things, right? And so it changed. You're only going to have one steering the ship. You're either going to support it or you're not even going to be part of it. So I think today the community is there's too many chiefs. Everybody wants to be the boss, and you're not going to see it. There's no purpose. What's going to be the fight? Who's the villain in your story in the community? They need something.
The industry. I mean,
what industry?
The entire industry.
The industry is run by the big corporations now. Marvel is Disney. That's Marvel's Disney now.
Why does it have to be? Right now is the best opportunity. With Diamond the way they are in Chaos and the way Lunar is coming up, the major brands kind of splitting off the way they are. This is giving you an opportunity. The LCSs are kind of opening their doors to more independence. I mean, look at me. I'm in 30 comic book stores. But the fact of the matter is I'm in 30 in DFW, New Orleans, Texas, New Mexico, so around this area. But if I had somebody who was in LA, in California, somebody who was in Chicago doing the same stuff that I am, if their speeds matched up to mine or were better than mine, how would that be a negative factor?
I'm not talking about negative or positive. I'm saying it's not possible.
It is possible.
No, I'm telling you. Look, let's talk. Let's keep it real, right? This is 100. We're gonna keep 100, right?
Yeah,
so
what
happened? You were like, hey, we're gonna have a meetup. That never happened.
But the only reason that didn't happen was
what had happened was
there was a lot of stuff that happened bad in my life. I had a kid that went in a hospital.
No, but you also said some people never responded.
No, people responded. People responded. Oh,
the only one was Lori.
Huh?
Lori was the only one that I knew that responded.
No, I had like 10 people lined up. Man, I had 10 people lined up, and these people were saying, "Hey, can I bring other people?" I had the interest, but like I said, my son had a week stay in a hospital that I had to be there. I couldn't leave. Right. Then I got sick. Yeah. And then I kind of got broke from all that. So I was like, I can't even afford to buy pizza for the creators to do this. But, I had these things, and one of the things was the charity thing that I ran this past month for PTSD. That entire month, anyone bought a digital copy, went to charity. And that was one of the key ideas I wanted to do this summer. That happened. And then, I got with Madness Comics is hosting me this week. Collected Comics. I really helped put that together. There's a few things that are happening in September.
Hear what you just said. You're not recognizing what I'm recognizing.
Okay. Before you go there, because I understand what you're going to say. Before you go there,
steering
do you think ship. If I wanted to by myself, that I could have stayed at Collected and said, "Hey, we don't need anyone else."
Yeah.
It's not about me.
No, I'm
I'm
saying
talking
no.
about
But I'm saying,
community.
no, you're not understanding what my point. What you're doing is you're building your own future, right? Now, because of who you are, you're giving people an opportunity to participate in the journey that you've created.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't mean that those people are going to want to form a business
Well, and I'm not
together.
talking about
No,
them.
that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying is, no. So you're doing a fantastic job when it comes to steering your journey and your ship. But when you want to pull a group together, good luck.
If there's a person like me here in Dallas, why isn't there a person like me in California or Chicago or New York? You're telling me that I'm the only person that has this
No, no, no. I know a lot. I
amount of
know.
drive?
No, I know a lot of cats that are similar to you. Well, they want people to benefit from the networking they do. But here the concern is the question was, will they ever form a community and form like an image? I don't see that ever happening.
I'm not saying never. I think it's possible. I just think it'd be a lot of work.
Not today. It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy for individualism. It's too easy right now.
No, I agree with
But if you
that.
take crowdfunding out, then you might have a reason for everybody to get together because they want to. Because what happens is, so here's what happens: independents have a bad rap as it is, right? We're not consistent. We don't finish the series. We do one book. We don't have a follow up. We make all these commitments that we don't deliver, right? All these things. That's why LCSs have a problem with independence, right? Because the inconsistency. They're there made it. They're there to make money, and if you can't be consistent and be responsible, why would they invest? So, what did you have to do? You had to go door to door, right,
Right.
and make those contacts, right? Not every independent wants to do that because they think that they should be picked up no matter what, right? They don't,
Right.
right? So no,
I
so there's
understand.
so there's a lot of different mentalities out there. I think you're an anomaly, right? You're doing what I did when I started out in the game, right? Exactly what I did. We went door to door. I mean, I walked into Midtown Comics. They carried every issue I produced. I walked into Jim Hanley's Universe, Forbidden Planet, all
He's
these
making my
places.
argument for me
No, but that was individual.
because you are a part of the anomaly too. So that means that there's probably other people like that.
Doesn't
I
mean that they
understand.
want to work together.
You just said that you were working together with another group before.
Huh?
You were working together with another group before, right?
Yes, but
Why
I
can't I
was
find
steering
someone?
I was steering the ship and the squad was good with it.
Well,
So
we
you
can
have
find
if you can get a group of guys and
Yeah.
gals to say because there's got to be one person that's good that's steering the pot,
he's gonna steer it.
right? You know what I'm saying? So someone's going to be in behind the
Yeah.
driver's seat,
Oh
and
yeah, you
everybody's
gotta
got to
build
be.
a good
You
foundation.
got to have somebody in the passenger seat with the map and saying go left, go right while you're driving, right? But you know where you want to go, but they're going to help make sure, right? You got guys in the back, right? And so
Yeah.
if you get stranded, you're there, whatever. You're changing the tires together, you're laughing together, you're growing together, right? But everybody's got to play their position. But the
Everyone's got
problem
pretty-
today, I don't see it. I mean, if you look at social media, look at how easy everybody turns on each other.
I see it.
Look how fast they turn on each other. I
see
watch
it.
it, how toxic it is.
No, I
On Twitter, on
understand
Facebook, I'm
the
like, my
majority.
goodness, weren't they friends yesterday? And now they're ripping each other today? And I'm like,
It's ripping me today.
you know what I mean?
No, I understand the majority of people want to be on their own. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand the majority of people are like, well, I'm not going to have anybody tell me what to do with my stuff. I understand that there's people out there that don't want to give and take. But for every 5 or 6 people that are that way, there's at least one that are like me.
Yeah, but there's still individuals that are making their own way and they're just being very hospitable and gracious by allowing others to benefit from the doors that they opened.
Right.
Right? So that's different from forming a group, in my opinion.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? So
That is
that's why for me it's like whenever I see that and I hear it, they never last. I mean they eat their own. I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. Like, oh, weren't they friends yesterday? Weren't they this here? Did they just do a podcast the other night? How did they turn on each other? You know, it's sad to see it. It's
there was somebody who once said, to reach success, you have to have 100 failures behind you.
Yeah.
Just because it failed 100 times doesn't mean it might not be successful once.
dude, I have a freaking file cabinet full of rejection letters, bro.
That's what I'm
I'm no
saying.
stranger to that
So,
stuff. It's
so
like,
everybody who says that it can't happen,
yeah.
it goes in here, and I think, but what if it does?
When you wish upon a star, makes
Disney,
no
Disney was
difference
one of
who
those
you
things that
are.
you had to start somewhere, right?
Hey,
Had to
look. You know what? That's what's very what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't want to talk bad about anyone who
Oh
I'm
no, I'm not
associated
talking
with.
about it.
No, no, no.
I never throw names. I think that's what's very
But what I'm
that's a
saying is,
unique quality you have, right?
here's, I've had
It's
partnerships
huh?
with
I know,
publishers, and
and
I've
I
had
know.
published part, and there's been several times where I said, "Hey, why aren't you getting me to advertise for you? Why aren't you, you know, getting me to help you to my full potential? Why aren't you using me as a tool that I can help you out?" I've had this with publishers. I've had this with other creators. I've had this with tons of people, and I'm like thinking to myself, if I found the right people that would have me help them and them help me, I think it could work.
Like, yeah, and I'm glad you are that way. That's one of those qualities of you that's endearing. But I still think I believe that it's a sad ending to your
God,
story. But
right?
to that point that you said about supporting each other, right? So I'm published. Duty's published as a comic strip in a Canada comic, right? It's a
Yeah, it is.
newspaper that's being distributed nationally. It's getting a lot of traction, a lot of endorsements. It's growing now, right?
Awesome.
And so what did I do? In every comic, I have an ad for a kid in a comic promoting the fact that
Right.
I'm in a comic strip, right? So they didn't ask me. I just knew it was the right thing to do because I have my book that I'm selling. I sell hundreds of my books at conventions. So I'm like, I want to make sure everybody knows about a kid in a comic and get the newspaper as well because you can get
Right.
Duty as a comic strip and also as a comic book, right? And you have two different formats, right? So, but you have to, if you being published, you have to be able to do your part. In today's world, it takes a village. So for me, it's like they're publishing my stuff. I'm going to promote the hell out of the fact that I'm in
Right.
that circulation. I'm going to put it in every book that I have. I'm going to have it on my website. I'm going to post it on social media. I'm going to go to the rooftops and raise hell. It's like, yo,
Right.
right? The British are coming. But that some people just feel like the in today's world, if you're going to go with a small publisher, you have to do a lot of work. If you're going with, Random House, then you could just be the creator. But if
Well,
you're
I
not
think
with a Random
with any
House,
publisher,
huh?
you should be with any publisher. You should
Oh,
be.
look, dude, if Duty was picked up by Random House, the first
Yeah.
thing I would do is be on the phone with um
LCS.
every regional for Barnes and Nobles, but
Oh
also
yeah.
all of the I'd be on the phone calling up the regional who's responsible for the East Coast and say, hey, my book's in circulation. I'd love to do a book signing in your store, blah 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 blah, and I would do my own PR. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, but I think it, it's a different mindset, because I want to be part of my journey, in every aspect.
Yeah.
I want to know what it's like to have those conversations. I want to be in the boardroom. I want to be in the pitch room. I want to do, all those things I want to experience. So why would I leave it to somebody else to represent me when no one could represent me better than myself?
Because
They
it
don't
takes.
have the love because I'm just a number. I'm just a client to them. But they don't. All they see is dollars. For me, Duty is my brand. It's me. It's my extension of me.
You're not just a client to me. You're my
Huh?
best friend.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take you outside at 3 o'clock. Close your eyes.
But
So,
I'm telling you, like I said, I think that I could help push people, and I think that there's people out there. I'm not saying any specific person. I'm saying I think there are people that could help push me, but
I'm gonna
vice
flip it.
versa.
I'm gonna flip it on you. Why don't
Yeah.
you? Why don't you try this? Why don't you find? Why don't you find independents that are trying to get this stuff into LCSs? Represent them, charge them a fee, represent them, and you do the legwork and you promote them. Why
I
don't you
don't
be a
want to charge
promoter?
because I don't want to charge. I do.
No, dude, you want to
I
make
want to
money
be
for
a
your kids and you
promoter.
don't want to charge anybody?
I want to be a promoter for partners. I want partners. I don't
No,
want
but
somebody who I'm you
so
know I've helped people set up Kickstarters. I've helped them do all the graphics on stuff on Kickstarter.
You gotta start. I know. I hear you, Paul. But you said you started off this conversation. This is where I get a little angry. All you viewers out there, you started this conversation that you want to leave a legacy for your kids. You want to leave financial stability, but you don't want to make money. I'm like, come on, what are you doing? I said, come on, I'm trying to help you out here. Help me help you. Show me the money.
It's not always about the money. It's about the legacy.
It's always about the money in today's world. You can't survive without the money.
No.
God, look, if you're in the business, consumable business, you want to make money because that's the only thing that's going to fuel the engine so you could produce more. You can't keep taking losses.
I understand that the money should go in and circulate. And
yes.
Like right now, my majority and my goal is to get my next book out. So I understand that that's where all my money is going.
But you've already established a foundation. You have something. You have gold in your hands, and you're not leveraging it.
It's not the right way to leverage.
It is, bro.
No.
You know how many people who had successful Kickstarter campaigns generated over $10,000, and then they became consultants. They're charging people $400 or $500 to consult them on how to do their Kickstarter, design their page, all that stuff. If people just did their homework, they wouldn't need a consultant, right? But they don't want to do the homework, so they're willing to pay. Same thing. Nobody wants to go and. But
I'm not looking for people who don't want to do their homework. I'm looking for people who have that drive, like I do. People who will put their boots.
Paul, so lonely.
If I'm here, there's got to be others out there. That's what I'm saying. I can't be the only one.
You need to do? You need to start watching or go to business seminars. And you got to start thinking like a businessman. You can't think like a prophet, bro. You got to go out there and think like a businessman so you can make some profit. Yo, you got to change the game. Yes, it is, bro. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It's not about being like everybody else. It's about changing the game.
It's about you.
It's about
you have some. You have
helping people that are going to help you.
I can tell you right now, you'll find a dozen people in Texas, independent creators, that will hire you to do the legwork that they're not willing to do because they just want to create.
I don't want to work for lazy people. I'm not trying to be.
Yes, you just.
I don't want to work for lazy people. I want to work with people who want and work.
You don't know if they're lazy. They're just not good at it. They just don't have the confidence to negotiate.
Most of them are lazy.
You just made a judgment call. You haven't even met them.
I've met people. Like I said, I've helped people. I help people put stuff together. I take any calls.
Dylan,
you don't know,
talk some sense into him. Dylan, talk some sense into him. He's stubborn.
I help people. Yo, I help people for free because it's I got to help.
Yeah, I know, but
that's not what I'm talking about doing. I'm talking about building structure that lifts everybody up.
No, don't worry. No. You lift me up. You lift me up. So listen, yo, dude. On one hand, I understand what you're trying to accomplish because back in the days on the Boulevard of Linden, we used to kick routines and the record. Anyway, so back in the days, independents came to me because they wanted me to represent them to get licensing deals and all that stuff, whatever. I took on one. I set up meetings at the licensing expo with agents to pitch their stuff, and they bailed on me.
Yeah.
They refused because they got cold feet. And that was the day I said, screw it, I'm not representing anybody. I'm going to represent myself. Right? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's gotta be no, but you're not representing. You're just acting as an agent.
I don't want to. If somebody has a drive that I have, they're getting out there and doing it.
You know what the drive is? You know what the drive is? A check. Toma.
It's not all about the
money. And now you have the capital to go and print out the next books and do the next convention and the whole bit, because all you did was leverage what you've built because you're the gatekeeper and you're using that as a tool to help monetize what you're trying to do with your product. Right? So you can have the inventory, so you can keep going to events and you can keep pushing the material. That's where you need to shift your mindset is go out there and say, look, Paulie G Esquire, I can get your stuff into stores. Bang, whatever it is. But and that's a form of income that you do naturally. It won't even be work for you, bro.
But I'm telling you, it's not about the money. It's about the legacy.
Oh,
It's
geez.
about the brand.
You can't have a legacy if you don't have any. Where are you going to get the capital? Where are you going
I
to do
got
it from?
5 books. I got
Huh?
5 books that if I passed on tomorrow, that he could sell for the rest of his life. That's enough of a legacy. You know, like I said, winning is different for everybody. The
Right.
day that he opened up that box and looked at me and said, "Hey, can I take this comic to school?" Remember that? No, that was me winning. Even if he don't remember it, that was me winning.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
I won.
All right, if you believe so, bro. If you believe so, see that my cup has run to dry. It's like, yo, it's look, dude. I'm just saying this at this stage of your game, you
Yeah.
need to continue to build your legacy. You need to continue to elevate your game, and you need to create a path that people are going to gravitate to. But when you're starting out and you want to bring everybody else on that's not committed, that's going to turn on you the moment they get pissed off with you. Don't put yourself through that. It's a heartache that you don't need, bro. Your purpose is that young man sitting right in front of you, right now, right next to you, right? That's your purpose. That's your drive. That's your motivation. Don't make it about people, strangers that are not going to be there, that are going to let you down. They're going to make your life difficult. That's going to, you know what I'm saying? Worry about you and building your legacy. It's you gotta look. There are going to be times in your life where you have to be selfish, and right now, your purpose is protecting your family's legacy. That's the most important thing that you can focus on. Don't try to save the world. I've tried it, bro. Over and over again, I've been let down. I am a byproduct of a broken system because what happens is resentment grows, right? Because then people start saying, "Well, how's he getting all this attention? And how's this? And why is this? And why is that? Why do we got to follow his lead? And why we got to do it that way? And why you got right?" And then people change, and then their true colors come out, like just like your boy who flipped on you and said, "I'm not your friend anymore," like a 12-year-old, right? So it's like it's it's got to be about your family, your legacy. Worry about your product. Put out the best product that you can, right? And be the best version of you, the best example for that young man sitting right next to you so that way he has something to continue with.
I
But if you're
agree
trying to
about
save
being the
everybody when you don't have a solid foundation,
well, that's
it's
what
going to be a
that's
broken
where you
system
have to start. You have to start somewhere. You have to build that foundation
for yourself.
Well, not. I built a foundation. I've got 5 books.
Yeah,
I've got people that are sponsoring this show. I got people that are sponsoring me
but you're just building.
you know,
Don't
that
yeah,
to lay the foundation.
you're in yes,
Now
you're
it's
in the
to lay
beginning
a
stage.
different foundation that help grows in different ways.
Yes.
You
So
can't just you just can't continue doing just what everybody else is doing. Why do you
how many times did they turn on Superman? How many times did they turn on Batman?
do,
Every hero,
do they stop being heroes?
people love to demonize the hero.
Do they
People
stop
love to
being
turn on,
heroes?
huh?
Do they stop being heroes? Do you say Superman say, he's not going to appreciate me saving him from that fire?
But you know who will? You know who's gonna be appreciative of you saving? Dylan.
Well, yes,
You gotta
Dylan.
be the Superman to him, not
That's the
to the
best route.
people who don't
The best
appreciate it.
morality route. I'm telling you,
I'm
you'll
telling you.
understand.
I'm just
And
saying,
if
you
it
have
works,
purpose right there.
and if it works, you never know how far it'll get.
I do know because I've made several attempts. The problem is I move at a speed that most people don't like to move with at.
Right, and I understand that. There's a lot of people out there that expect things for nothing.
Yeah. I don't I don't
understand. There's a lot of
I have a no quitting mentality.
right.
I don't
Oh
I don't
man,
I always break the rules. I feel like rules are just there to stifle your growth and it's like to contain you. So for me, I'm always thinking outside the box. If everybody's saying go right, I'm going left. I said, God, peace, right? Sometimes the road less traveled. That's where you're gonna find Sam, right? With my stick and my handkerchief, right? And just click, 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 and figuring it out, whatever comes.
This is
Right?
my road less traveled.
And I made a lot of mistakes and I learned a lot of valuable lessons.
Yeah,
And I'm just trying to share that with you and convey that
I understand.
while you have grandiose aspirations, the reality is your true purpose is right in front of you. The answers are right in front of you. Don't try to save the world. Build your empire, bro. Build your empire because the world doesn't want to be saved.
You,
The world does not want to be saved.
I think, like I said, if I'm here, There's bound to be another me out there in California. There's bound to be another me in Chicago. There's bound to be another me in Florida.
So, are you gonna put on an ad?
Yeah.
Hey, is there another me out there?
I'm working on a plan. I'm working on a plan. I'm not going to go into it blind. I'm going to work on a plan.
Dude. Oh, my God. Yeah.
All right. Well, an hour.
I would have put you in a headlock. I'm like, stop it.
I
Give you some
don't want to
loogies.
run this show too much. Let's close the show off and then you can yell at me some more.
I know. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
All right, people. Remember, we're out in Denton this Saturday.
Is this a comic show?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on Maury Povich or Jerry Springer.
Hopefully we start getting more people watching. We'll bring on some indies that are having stuff on Kickstarters and whatnot, like we tried with Carissa. We'll do that some more, hopefully on Fridays or whatnot. We're also looking into making other shows during the week, but we're starting out here. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Sam, for coming. Thank you. What's happening? What yeah, man.
Yes, check out Catch the Craze on YouTube and all social media. Catch the Dub with a D-A, not a T-H-E, so it's Catch the Craze. Go to dutiesworld.com. If you're an artist out there, I'm holding a competition, an art competition.
That's right.
And you can win $100 for free commercials on Cast the Craze Podcast, 1 hour interview on Cast the Craze Podcast, plus your mugshot and the art and a bio and your story featured in issue number 6 of There's an Alien on My Toilet. So go to dutiesworld.com, www.dutiesworld.com. And if you're an artist, submit your art. You have until the 15th of August to send in your submission. I just featured the newest by what? Damn, what was this?
He said he wanted me to submit. He told me to submit. I don't know. I might.
So far we've gotten 5 submitted, and it's a minimum of 5 artists to submit to for the contest to run. And I'll be making the announcement live on Cast the Craze Podcast. So it's fun. And for those who don't win, you'll get a 30-minute interview on Cast the Craze, and your art will be featured on issue number 6 and on the website with your link to your social media handle or your website.
That's awesome.
So everybody wins, but there's only one grand prize.
I'm a grand prize.
Yeah. Yeah. You're grand, okay. But so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about hanging out this weekend. We're not going to be talking politics. We're just going to be having fun.
Fun.
Yes.
Handing out stickers, handing out sketches.
But it's not fun without me. Y'all can't have no fun.
I know. That's right. You're going across country. What are you, hitchhiking?
Yeah. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you just need somebody to talk to, my name is Paul Gomez. I'm at Paul Gomez 790. Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, anything at all. Just
word. Big ballin'.
Bye.
Deuces.
Oh, it didn't end. Wait a minute.